Hello YouTube world, welcome back to my workshop. Project I'm going to do for you this week is this. It's a lovely spiral piece. Person who gave me inspiration for doing this is Stuart Mortimer. I don't think he does YouTube stuff, but if you Google Stuart Mortimer and put in images, you see his stuff come up. And there's some of his, they look like Fabergé eggs. They are absolutely, I mean, they really are works of art. I really feel quite irreverent mentioning my name and his name in the same sentence, to be honest. Because he is an absolute master at doing these. They are fantastic, the pieces he does. So anyway, a piece of walnut, and I'll show you how I go about making it. So I'm going to make a start with this lovely bit of walnut. Some lovely grain running through there. First thing I need to do is knock it into rounds. So it's nicely down to round. I need now just put a tenon on this end. So that's just rough down into a round. So what I need to do is find the middle. 50 and 75. What I need to do now is just turn that into a sphere. What I do is I'm cutting that rather than just pushing the tool straight across and giving me a flat edge around there. What I do is come in with a tool, and as I come across I just roll it over and just lift the handle as I come through, and that automatically gives me that lovely natural curve across there. What I want is a short upstand on that side. Like that. And then do exactly the same on the other end. Down to 320, and although I don't really need to, I'm going to put some sand sealer on here just to show you a beautiful grain in that walnut. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And you see the contrast there along that line. That's the dark heartwood there, and then we're going through. That is a light outwood, and then this is the outer sapwood. The tree had been growing that way, and that would have been the middle of the tree. Beautiful. Right, so what I've got to do now is hollow that out. First thing I'll do is just hollow that down through with a Forstner bit. All the way to the bottom of the Forstner bit, so I'm just going in with a long reach auger. I'm going about 130, just takes me up to the edge of that shank there. This is my hollowing tool that I use. You can see there, because what you're looking at is a 6-inch or 7-inch monitor. I have a camera set up over the top of my hollowing tool, which is there, and on there you can see where my fingernail is. There's a black dot, and that is sat right over the tip of my tool. This piece here is what's going to be hollowed, and as you see, wherever that black tip is, I know that's where the tip of my tool is, which allows me to hollow this out and follow the curve around there with a great deal of accuracy. All it is now is a matter for me to go in and watch that, and you can see exactly what I see on the monitor. I'll get back to you when I get closer to the finishing. What I've done, I've taken the camera away slightly so you can see the whole of the, this is what I'm hollowing here, and there's my black dot there, and you see we're gradually taking that away. As you see now, my little black dot just there, that's pretty much at the bottom of there. And that's pretty much as thin as I need to go. Now I'm going to get a mark out on the outside for our cut. So that's hollowed, the outside's done. What I want to do now is just put a few lines on here. So I'm going to have, that'll be my top line there. I want one just inside of that. And the same on this end. And then I want equal lines down there. That's 80, 20, 20, 20. Now I do have an indexing feature on this lathe, because what I want to do is draw some lines that way. But the easiest way I've found to do it is you have a 4-jaw chuck, and all you have to do is line the chuck up. If you put that in there and just line this, that's the top of chuck 1. Just line that up. There's your line. Chuck 2. And 3. And 4. And then all you have to do then is just get a pair of dividers and go in between those. Now what we have to do, we just have to go from diagonal to diagonal to diagonal. And depending on which way you want the twist to go, you either draw the lines that way or draw the lines that way. For some reason I prefer my twist to go that way. It don't really make a lot of difference. Now that is too much of a twist, so what I'm going to do is ignore this middle line, and I'm actually going to take it from there down to there. And from there down to there. So just work my way around the pot now. So what I do now is I have a saw blade in my Dremel, and I just go through and cut along those lines. I'll just carry on working my way around. So as you can see from this, I've gone all the way around with the saw blade and just cut a groove in there. And now what I've done is I've switched the saw blade out for a burr, and all I do now is just go through, just gradually open all that up, work my way down through until I'm inside the actual pot. Just a gradual process, just gradually taking the wood away. This outer sapwood is really quite soft. The Dremel went through that, no trouble at all, just chopped it away. But when you get around to this heartwood where it's really dark, it's incredibly hard. And to save my Dremel and my burr, which were quite expensive, I find it's a lot easier. Just drill a whole series of holes, and all I've got to do is easier to just push a drill through there and then take all those little bits out afterwards. You'll find a lot of people with these, they actually get ractile files and they do all of this by hand. So I just want to remove that wood, I don't want it there, I just want to remove it as expediently as I possibly can. So let's go back and drill some more holes. So as you see, I've gone around with the Dremel, I've opened that up all the way around, and what we need to do now is sand all of that down. This is aluminium oxide, and what it is, it's the material backed, because you need the material back because it needs to be flexible enough to come in and out of there. So you need to slip it through there. And then what you need to do, just hold that like that and start sanding. As you see, that starts very quickly to sand that down and give you a nice uniform edge on there, as opposed to that. So you just need to keep going, just work your way around, gradually take it all down. Once you get a bit of wear in the sandpaper and it starts getting quite flexible, you can actually wrap it right the way around like that. And you sand both sides, top and bottom, all in one go. And this is what we're looking for. This round, sanded, both sides, top and bottom. We're getting there. A bit more off of there. The tool I use is this, it's just a thin piece of wood. I've stuck a piece of Velcro on there, or hook and loop, and it allows me just to go in there with a piece of Abranet, and just allows me to straighten all those edges up and do a bit more rapid sanding, really, just get rid of a lot of that wood. But it doesn't give me that curve on it that the aluminium oxide sandpaper does, but it does straighten up quite nicely. Also, it won't, obviously I still need that aluminium oxide because I need to sand underneath, which is something that flat piece of Abranet won't allow me to do. So it's a matter now of just working our way around using the tools available to me, really. I've still got the burr that I use, the sander burr, and the aluminium oxide and the Abranet, and just go through, sand it all down and take it back to what I'm looking for. So as you can see, YouTube world, we're gradually getting there. So a lot of hand sanding and a lot of messing about, but we're getting there. So there we go, YouTube world, that's the finished product. Hope you like that. Nice spiral piece. This wasn't the actual piece I was working on, this is one I'd done earlier. That last piece I get into that. There's a lot of hand sand on that, quite time consuming. and I'll get and finish that one off at my leisure. I'll probably post up later on once I finished it. But it does give you the general gist of how to do it. The actual spirals on there, obviously the more marks you put around there, the thinner your pieces of wood will be, the thinner your gaps will be, but you'll have more spirals. And the other thing is, the more lines you put going this way, is the more spirals that will go around that way. But what you have to balance that off against is the thickness of the wood, the condition of the wood, how thin the spirals are, because quite often, sometimes when I was sanding this, you could actually see it flexing. You could see it moving as I was sanding it. So you've got to balance off one against the other, and if you try and make them too thin, you'll find that you end up with a pile of firewood. But there you go. I think that's been a lovely project this week. It is a lovely thing to look at. It does sit up on my bookcase. I'm really pleased with it. So I hope you enjoyed watching it half as much as I've enjoyed making it. As usual, if you did, we've all had a very good day. And I'll see you all again next week. You take care of yourself. Bye bye.